During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
All right, call the meeting to order and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's remain standing for a moment of silence for those who have given their lives so we can enjoy the freedoms that we deserve today. Before we start our regular meeting, we have a public hearing tonight. Local law of the town of Marlborough, Ulster County, New York, amending section 134-2 definitions, amending section 155-1 terms defined, amending section 155-12 use regulations, amending section 155-31 site plan review, and amending section 155-310 minor site plan review of the code of the town of Marlborough to regulate farm venue events. If anyone has any comments they want to add, please come to the podium up front and keep your comments respectful and to within 3 minutes your remarks, please. Dan? And Dan, I believe you told me you were traveling back from the Adirondacks just for this, so.
I couldn't let you guys do
Yeah, so if you need a little more than 3 minutes, go ahead.
Thank
It was
you.
a big day, so.
Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Okay. Hi, my name is Dan Heavens. I own and operate a farm and a farm winery in Marlborough with my wife, Jackie, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. First, I want to say I appreciate the work the town has put into this issue. After reading the proposed law and also reading the town's letters to the State Department of Ag and Markets, Agricultural and Markets, I believe we actually agree on the objective. The town has stated that it is not trying to hinder farming, that it supports agricultural tourism, and that its concern is with large private events that are unrelated to agriculture and that create legitimate public health and safety issues. I agree with that objective. Traffic, emergency access, parking, sanitation, fire safety, and occupancy limits are all legitimate concerns, and municipalities absolutely have a role in addressing those issues. However, I do not believe the proposed language is ready for approval in its current form. I would ask the board to consider 6 specific changes. Number 1, create clear exemptions before requiring minor site plan review. The town has repeatedly stated that its concern is large-scale private events, yet the current proposal does not distinguish between a small farm dinner and a much larger commercial event operation. Those activities do not create the same impacts. The proposal should clearly distinguish between ordinary farm marketing and larger event operations that require additional review. That would make the law more predictable for farmers and more focused on the town's stated concerns. I do not suggest creating another registration permit or annual reporting process for farms. Instead, the law should establish clear thresholds under which no town land use review is required. Routine direct farm marketing, tastings, tours, pick-your-own activities, educational programs, harvest events, and limited farm events should be exempt when they remain accessory to the farm, stay below reasonable attendance and frequency limits, use adequate access and parking, and comply with generally applicable health, fire, building, sound, and alcohol laws. Minor site plan review should apply only when an event operation exceeds those objective thresholds or proposes conditions that create material public health and safety impacts such as major off-site parking, substantial traffic generation, large temporary structures, or frequent outdoor amplified sound. If a farm event does create those impacts, then I question why planning board review is necessary. If it does create those impacts, then review is appropriate. The approach is much more objective, easier to administer, and more consistent with Ag and Markets guidance. Number 2, narrow the definition of farm venue event. The town has told Ag and Markets that it is concerned about private events unrelated to agriculture. However, the proposed code defines farm venue events much more broadly. Combined with the proposed flow chart, almost any event involving public access could become subject to planning board review, such as tastings. But public access is part of many ordinary farm marketing activities. That can include tastings, farm dinners, pick-your-own operations, tours, educational workshops, harvest festivals, customer appreciation events. Ag and Markets recognizes that some of these activities can be part of the farm operation when their primary purpose is to promote and sell products produced by the farm. The town's own letter says agricultural tourism is not the concern. So I recommend that those activities be expressly excluded from the farm venue event definition whenever they primarily promote products produced by the farm. If the town's concern is truly unrelated commercial event venues, then I encourage the board to amend the code so it regulates those activities and only those activities. Number 3, define an event when it's truly incidental and subordinate to the farm. The proposed law uses those words, but it does not explain how they will be measured. Ag and Markets provides a clear framework. The guidance also allows reporting and record keeping to show that the activity remains connected to the farm operation. I suggest adding objective criteria and allowing an annual certification process instead of forcing every qualifying farm through an open-ended planning board review. Number 4, limit planning board review to genuine health and safety issues. One of the strongest parts of the proposal is that it says planning board review is limited to health and safety considerations. I support that, but I believe it should go one step further. If a condition is imposed on a farm, the board should identify the specific health or safety concern, the evidence supporting that concern, and why the condition is the minimum necessary to address it. That creates transparency for everyone and demonstrates that the review is truly focused on health and safety rather than regulating agricultural activities themselves. Number 5, add deadlines and fee protections. Calling the process minor site plan review does not necessarily make it minor. Without deadlines, a farm could still face multiple meetings, professional expenses, application fees, and escrow costs. Ag and Markets warns that lengthy reviews, professional plan requirements, fees, and delays can themselves become unreasonable restriction on farm operations. And I suggest a few things here. I'll submit this to the town so they can review. Number 6, protect existing lawful operations and revise the flow chart. The proposed law should state clearly that existing approvals remain valid and that lawful operations receive a reasonable transition period. The flow chart should also be revised. The key question should not simply be whether the public comes onto the farm. Public access is inherent in direct farm marketing. Instead, the chart should ask, is this a qualifying farm operation under state law? Is the activity routine direct farm marketing or a protected farm marketing event? Does it fall below the town's administrative thresholds? Does it create impacts that require minor site plan review? Is it actually a separate commercial event venue rather than an accessory farm use? That would better reflect the case-by-case approach recommended by Ag and Markets. In closing, I believe the town and the farming community want the same thing. We want agriculture to remain economically viable. We want residents and visitors to be safe. And we want the rules to be clear, predictable, and fair. So I respectfully ask the board keep the public hearing open and take a little more time before adopting this law. I also request a written review from Ag and Markets. Please revise the code so it reflects the objective that you've described in your own correspondence. Protect public health and safety without creating unnecessary uncertainty for legitimate farm operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. You have a lot of very valid points, and I think we should sit down with you coming up and go through a lot of them.
Just for clarity, I was under the impression that that flow chart was helping for illustrative purposes during this conversation, but not actually included in the...
Yeah, I don't know that the flow chart's part of the law,
Yeah,
although it was going to be included, and it does need work.
I
But
would say it's very rudimentary. I
Yeah.
agree.
It's not law, it's just a guideline right now.
the flow
would
chart
say
is not,
visual
though,
aid.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Al? You didn't drive from the Adirondacks. You get 3 minutes.
I'll probably be
You're driving back,
two
too?
minutes.
Go ahead, Al, thank you.
Al Lanzetta, 198 Reservoir Road, Marlborough, New York. A little over a year ago, cease and desist orders were sent to a number of Marlborough businesses, including several farms. It was never clearly explained why these particular farms were singled out and why they were being penalized for conducting their farming operations as they had done for years. Now the town is introducing a law to further control our farmers' ability to make a living, and I want to express my concerns. Laws are generally put in place in response to actions that threaten public health, safety, or welfare. The new restrictions on farm are not in response to any problems that have arisen. There have not been any terrible accidents or threats that I'm aware of. Our farming community, they police themselves because it's in everyone's best interest. It only makes sense on every level that they ensure that the public that comes to enjoy the pick-your-owns, the wine tasting, the accommodating festivities is safe and well provided for. I think the market law provides enough information for farms to use as guidance. I think requiring site plan for farms that meet ag market requirements for operation is unnecessary. I don't think the town has made a case that an additional layer of government should be added to control a problem that doesn't exist. Thank you.
Anyone else have any public comments on this? Yes, Mr. Clark.
I've got a pretty big mouth, so I'm not going to use the microphone. My understanding is that the town wants to enact a law that says that certain venues need a site plan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Minor site plan.
That is correct. Okay, my daughter asked me to come to the meeting, so I'm somewhat unprepared. I haven't read the background, but I've been in the business a very long time. I would say, I also have about 10 years of experience on the planning board. So there are some situations that would require a site plan. And a site plan is something that would relieve future chaos. And we've had some situations in the town that have created chaos because they didn't have a site plan. So, I can see certain situations. When it comes to farming, I would say there's some different designations. If you're strictly a pick-your-own, I don't think you need a site plan. You're having people come in during the day, they come in, they go out, and hopefully you've created a situation where parking is adequate and you can get people in and off the road without any issues. There are other things, and our farm is doing those things. We opened a tasting room, and yes, I don't know if that requires a site plan or not. It's not a lot of people. It's at a later point in the day. We expect to open a wedding venue. That is really not an agricultural thing.
And that
should require a site plan.
not to interrupt you, Steve, but that is exactly what this law reads.
Okay, and I would
yeah.
agree with it.
Yes.
A situation like that, it
It's-
may take place on the farm.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with agriculture.
No, it becomes a commercial
And it should require
venue.
a site plan.
Yes.
You need
Yeah.
parking, you need lighting, you gotta know where the, wells and septic are. Are they
Yes.
adequate for the situation. So, you know, I can see that. So I would be in favor of certain things being regulated with a site plan, other things not. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
And I'll just, so we're all aware, this isn't about pick your owns, and, you know, I think Dan did bring up some very good points where we need to possibly define, have some better definitions in here for, you know, so those don't get lumped in, which I don't see it in this law, other than the flow chart is definitely a little bit confusing. But the farmer venue event is an accessory use, incidental, or subordinate to a farm operation for public or private events or other commercial activities which involve public access, include by way of, exactly, it's more of the commercial part that we're, yeah. Farm venue events by way of example, weddings, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, private parties, reunions, graduations, corporate events, concerts, ticketed performances, non-agricultural festivals, and similar. That's what this is.
There needs to be a carve-out for marketing ag.
And I agree with that, which, you know, I totally agree, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Anyone else have any more comments on this? And I don't know if Sheridan wants to add anything, but our intention is not to overregulate our farming community at all. But if anyone, this law is on our website, Marlborough, and it's defined there, and I believe, so we're going to be leaving the public hearing open through the next meeting. So I would hope that we still come up with more comments, and so we can make this right. I mean, our farming community is very important to this town. It's what makes this town unique and special, and the last thing this board wants to do is overregulate anything, I can guarantee that. I'd like to strip about 100 pages out of the code book myself, but, you know, so,
Agreed.
so, no more public comments on this public hearing? Okay. Thank you all for your comments, and I look forward to making this code correct for everyone in the town. Before we get to motion to approve the agenda, I need to amend the agenda for, I need to add a presentation. There's two fellows from Ulster County EMS that are here that further through the meeting are going to do a little, give us some information about creating an EMS district. And then I need to add another item for an executive session at the end before adjournment regarding a personnel matter.
I will make the motion to add the presentation to tonight's agenda as well as the executive session.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Okay. Motion to approve the minutes from the June 22, 2026 Town Board meeting.
Motion,
Oh,
I'll make
sorry.
the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Is there a note in there to remove the resolution to hire a part-time dispatcher?
I was gonna, when I got to the resolution, we're gonna table it. Back to motion to approve the minutes. Did we do that? June 22, 2026 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Authorize the payment of the bills in the amount of $679,046.58. Just a note that $468,000 of that is for for the expansion of the Marlborough sewer plant capacity.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor? None opposed.
Yeah.
Do we have any comments on the agenda? None. Moving forward. Reports of departments. As always, all our department reports are on the town website. Does anyone have any of the board have any questions on those reports?
Not a question, but I guess just a comment that I know the highway department has been doing a tremendous amount of paving in the last month, and just compliments to the great work that they've been doing.
Yes.
Especially in the heat.
Looks beautiful. Yeah, they had some hot days. And also, Charlie flushed hydrants this last month. Charlie, how many hydrants do we have out of service right now? I know you've been busy fixing them, which is good.
We have 7.
Okay. So about half of them you've repaired. Good. Thank you. Going on reports to departments. Laura, do you want to do your county report right now?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Deputy Supervisor Appler and the entire town board for having me here. As the county legislator representing Marlborough, I wanted to provide some updates from the county, as it's been a very busy time the last month and a half. First, I'm happy to report that the resolution I sponsored earlier this year to reduce the county's sales tax on gas went into effect on June 1st. And what that means is that for every gallon of gas sold above $3, there is no county tax sales charge, helping reduce the total cost of filling up at the pump. And this will be in effect for the summer months, and it will run through the end of August. In June, we were pleased to welcome Lisa Berger, who is the Director of Tourism for Ulster County, to Marlborough's Fermata Cafe, where she met with members of our local business community. It was a great opportunity for our small businesses and agritourism operators to share ideas directly with the county about how our tourism department can better support Marlborough and continue bringing visitors to the community. Last Tuesday, I was honored to help coordinate a press conference at Borchert Orchards as we continue urging the USDA to issue a federal disaster declaration following the devastating freeze from back in April. The press conference was emceed by Senator Michelle Henchy, and in attendance were Congressman Pat Ryan, County Executive Jem Metzger, and Assemblymember Jonathan Jacobson. I want to sincerely thank the more than 24 farmers from Marlborough and Milton and across southern Ulster who were able to attend that event. On the public safety front, I am pleased to report that working together with Ulster County DPW, our town highway department, and Superintendent John Alonji, along with our police department and Chief Kakoza, that we were able to secure 2 portable traffic safety speed feedback signs on loan from the county. Those signs are now installed on the north and south sides of Bingham Road near the Latin Town Road intersection, and traffic safety continues to be one of the most common concerns we hear from residents, and I will continue working with our town and county partners to pursue additional ways we can keep our roads safe as we head into fall and into next year. Lastly, I'd like to briefly mention a resolution that is currently before the Ulster County Legislature. The Ulster County Executive has introduced a home rule request asking New York State to give Ulster County the ability to adopt a local income surcharge tax. This is referred to as the Ulster County Fair Tax Act. The stated goal is to provide an additional revenue source by creating a tax surcharge on high-income earners in the county and reduce reliance on property taxes with this new tax authority. At Thursday's Ways and Means committee meeting, and as the only financial advisor on the legislature, I voted against advancing this proposal. My no vote was joined by my colleague, Legislator Berardi, and by Minority Leader Kevin Roberts. I do not believe that at this time we have currently had all of the data and analysis necessary to fully evaluate this option against all other available alternatives. And similar questions have also been expressed by our Ulster County Comptroller. As legislators, I believe it is our responsibility to thoroughly evaluate all proposals before requesting new taxing authority from the state, which would be one of historic nature, as no other county in New York State has a similar law today. For that reason, I do intend to vote no again tomorrow when the legislature meets with the full body and we consider this resolution tomorrow evening. My full remarks on my reasoning as to why I am a no today are available by watching the Ways and Means Committee meeting on YouTube and on my Facebook page, which is Laura Donovan for Ulster. And there was a recent article and podcast from Hank Gross at the Mid-Hudson News as well. Thank you, and always, if anyone has any questions or needs assistance with a county matter, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can be reached via email or by text, or you can call me on my county phone, which is 845-859-0297. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Laura. I'm going to move forward to the EMS, if you guys want to enlighten everyone about the creation of an EMS district. We have Rich Miller and Michael Beninati from Ulster County Emergency Services.
Good evening. So one of the things that we just wanted to talk with the town board about this evening is we were approached with regards to options for funding emergency medical services as you move into the future. Currently, you include the fees for ambulance services and your contracts in your general fund. There is provisions in New York state law to form ambulance tax districts. And there appear to be some distinct benefits of doing that. Primarily that those funds then get used exclusively for the purpose of ambulance service. You as the town board retain complete control over that, and it's no different than a water district or a light district. It's the same type of law and structure that gets set up. Or you can optionally use some commissioners that are experts in EMS, right, and from your local community, who then advise the town board on making those decisions. And so what you would do is you would develop a plan and a map to ensure that all of your residents across the town of Marlborough are taxed fairly and evenly. It's the same amount of money that you're putting into your general fund now, but the purpose of it is to establish a dedicated line item which is transparent to all of the taxpayers as well. So there are benefits of it. Several communities in Ulster County have already taken this. If you were to do that now as well, Ulster County will cover the expenses of the EMS attorney to create that tax district. Over the last few years, the county legislature has supported the EMS efforts in the county, and as such, one of those advantages are they would cover the fee of the attorney to implement your ambulance tax district. So why is this so important? This is important right now because ambulance service and the provision of ambulance service is getting much more difficult, not just in Ulster County, not just in Marlborough, but across the state. And as we continue to see the decline of volunteerism, the challenges in finding folks who want to enter the EMS business, the rising costs, the reductions in Medicare and Medicaid, there's going to be some additional burdens to ensure that you have an ambulance that shows up. So one of the things that you have right now is you have a single ambulance contract for 24/7 for one paramedic ambulance. If that paramedic ambulance is out on a call, your contract does not provide any depth for additional EMS response. In southern Ulster County, in the towns of Lloyd, the Clintondale Fire District, which is partially in the town of Plattekill, the Modena Fire District, and the town of Gardner, we have formed a regional approach to EMS, where those agencies, those municipalities, contribute into the county system, and we in turn contract with an advanced life support provider to provide that care. The advantage to that is that you're taking advantage of a county-wide system where we move resources all over the place. So in the event that you need 2 ambulances or 3 ambulances, you'll get them as part of that plan. So I know, in fact, this morning, your first ambulance was out on a call, and within a few minutes after that, you had a call for an unconscious unresponsive. And so this theme recurs from time to time. Recently we had a house fire with 3 victims in a neighboring municipality, and the county was able to supply you with 3 advanced life support ambulances as part of the system. And so there's lots of advantages of doing this, and as I said, the challenges will continue to grow. We're doing what we can with EMS education. We've launched an EMT program. We just recently opened up for the fall class. We had to close it because the maximum of the entry into the class was going to be 30. 10 days later, we had 50 applicants. We are also partnering right now with SUNY Cobleskill to bring a paramedic program down here. So we're doing a bunch of initiatives to ensure that EMS service is available to everybody in the county at any time. Rich, do you have anything to add?
No, I think Mike covered it fairly well. I think the big thing for you guys in particular is the depth of service. In a town this big, you can't be one and done and then not have people come in. You guys have enjoyed the fact that New Paltz Rescue Squad is so close. They are contracted in the town of Lloyd to provide service, and in those instances, those resources are basically brought from another, surrounding community here to help out. This would just formalize the approach, and as Mike said, it's the same as what you're putting into your general fund now. We just feel that it's more sustainable in the long run. And we're open to questions, so.
And so just the next step would be, so if you wanted to proceed with forming an ambulance tax district for your 2027 year, what you would need to do is to establish a resolution, right, that you would adopt at your next meeting to ensure that it gets done in time for 2027. And so the town board needs to adopt a resolution approving the preparation of a map, plan, and report for the proposed ambulance district. And again, the proposed ambulance district would be consistent with the borders of the town of Marlborough.
Right, so it is necessary for us to establish this ambulance district in order to take part in the county services, the county pooling of resources?
So the answer is no.
Okay.
Those are 2 separate and distinct items, all right? We're here tonight specifically to talk about the formation of an ambulance tax district, just because it's more transparent, it's dedicated funds, it allows you to have complete control of what you do. It can establish commissioners for EMS. But the goal, our first goal, is to encourage you to form an ambulance tax district like many of the municipalities across Ulster County have done. Yeah, absolutely.
And the important thing to remember is, if you go through with it, the county will foot the bill for all the legal machinations that happen to create the ambulance task district. Once it is actually formed, you have no obligation whatsoever to enter into the county plan either. Yeah. You can choose to remain with a commercial provider. You can choose to stand up your own independent thing. That's not what it's about. The primary purpose here is, as Michael said, to encourage transparency in EMS for the good of all the communities in Ulster County.
Yeah, and you guys are here tonight because it's already July, and county has these funds in their budget for 2026. Mm-hmm. So we need to get, if the board were to decide to just at least create the district, which, like you said, it's just transparency. It's another line on the taxes. You can see where your money's going. The county's going to pay for it. And if we don't get a resolution within the next month, then it's probably going to run out of time, and then if we decide to do it next year, it's $8,000 out of our taxpayers' funds. So, yeah. So,
well, I think the other thing that this is bringing to light for me, maybe not for you guys, but when we signed with ambulance, one of the key selling features that they gave to us, right, was that if our ambulance was out on a call, that they were moving resources in to backfill that ambulance immediately, and they relied quite a bit on their hub in Newburgh to do that, which I know that hub is not there anymore, so I'm sure that affects it. But if that's not happening, I mean, I think that's something that needs to be addressed regardless of
they
the
do
tax
move
district.
them quite a bit of the time. If they have them, they're sending them from Montgomery or wherever they are. I mean, it's every,
It's not as close, I'm assuming, though.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a longer, I mean, but we have been fairly happy with ambulance, right, Chief? I mean, they've been,
There's a few instances like today that it was 5 calls in the span of 2 hours.
Sure.
yeah.
One being a cardiac arrest. Fortunately, the first call that they were out on from that wasn't a transport, so they were at the cardiac arrest pretty quick. But the other 3 calls, although minor in nature, required from Montgomery or wherever it is, they pulled those ambulances from. So in terms of that, the countywide system, making more of ambulances available for our staff calls, quote unquote staff calls, would be a benefit because ambulance, although they said they would move resources around, I think, again, I'm not going for ambulance and I don't know for sure, but I think they're kind of at their capacity about the services they've offered everybody around.
Yeah.
And we don't see quite the same as we did when they first came aboard here in Marlborough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a 30-minute response time because they're coming from Montgomery. Doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're
It's a
sitting
long
there in
time.
your house,
It's a long time.
It's a long time. And the police department itself is limited in its resources, limited in our training, we have basic EMS stuff, but we by no means AMT or first aid certified. We do have oxygen, but more and more so, the type of medical needs these people require are more likely an ALS unit, and we just can't offer that.
Yeah.
Trying to tend to them for 30 plus minutes sometimes is a lot. So I think this is a great idea, provided we get those backup units in a more reasonable time than we're currently.
Yeah. And Ulster County is working on that, and it's great that this is moving forward as some type of county-run district. We are nearing the end of our EMS contract with ambulance. I think we have less than a year left. Don't quote me. But so we're looking at the future of what's going to happen, and it looks like most likely it'll be with our county system. So this is the first step in that, and hopefully we start getting the ball rolling. Get us a copy of a resolution or something that we need to.
Sure.
And then we'll discuss it for the next meeting. Thanks for coming down tonight.
Good. We can get you the resolution.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Good.
Yeah, does anybody in the room have questions for them? Mickey?
I'm just a little confused about how it's going to, how the tax district is going to be formed. Is that going to be evenly, like every taxpayer is going to put in a portion, or is it going to depend on how close you are to services? Is it going to be an additional tax for taxpayers?
I
will-
think that,
See it reduced from our regular,
I believe that we're already paying this, so it would just be moved from one line, from
Yeah.
the bulk that you pay into a separate line. However, my concern would be exactly what you just said, in that it appears to the naked eye that is a new line item tax, and, that's.
There will be a lot of questions because all of a sudden it's going to be a new tax on your tax
Yeah.
bill, but it's it'll be removed from the general fund where it is now.
Yeah.
So technically, the general fund levy will go down,
Yeah.
and then you'll see a new line item where it said Marlborough Fire District, Light District, and then EMS District, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. And it is important to consider ambulance billing when you get into this. And we're not here to disparage commercial EMS. I'm a product of commercial EMS. But they are under the same restrictions and they have the same problems that everybody in EMS does. And it's a lack of providers. That's why Michael stressed the fact that we are heavily invested right now as a county in growing our own. We're sending people to school. We've already graduated 45 plus in less than a year, and we have several more to go. So the thing to remember, though, about billing is we would, if you were to contract those services with the county, we would bill insurers to offset the cost to the town. The big thing is no resident of Marlborough would ever be sent to collections for an ambulance bill. It just wouldn't happen. And that's the commitment on the part of the county to making this service. We believe that everybody in the county needs to have equal access to the same level of care. It shouldn't be basic life support in Marlborough and advanced life support in a community that has a bigger tax base. It's just patently unfair. So that's one of the, probably for me, would be the biggest influencers in a county type system, is that, you know, nobody's going to be sent to collections for an ambulance bill. Mm-hmm.
I think it would be very good for people to actually understand that the town is providing ambulance services when they see it on a tax bill. I mean, it's going to raise questions, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
it's also a service that the town has been providing for over 10 years.
And any contractual arrangements between the county and the town are a matter of public record. And obviously, we would answer any questions of any taxpayer or any town official, you know, regarding what it is that we're doing. It's all right out there in the open, and transparency with an ambulance district is a big part of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming tonight, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk to you soon. Does anybody have any old business to discuss?
No.
Any new business from the board? No new business. That's a good thing. Correspondence. I have two correspondents here. This is Dear Danielle, on behalf of the Marlborough United Soccer Club Board, we respectfully request permission to use the soccer fields at Cluett Chance Memorial Park for our upcoming fall soccer season. We are requesting field use during the period of September 7 through October 31 on the following days and times. Mondays, 6 to 8 p.m., Thursdays, 6 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. The fields will be used for organized youth soccer practices and games. Our organization is committed to responsible field use and maintenance and will comply with all town policies, scheduling requirements, and any guidelines established by the Parks and Rec Department. MUSC carries general liability insurance for all programs. Certificate of insurance naming the town of Marlborough as additionally insured can be provided upon request. Please let us know if there are any forms to complete, fees to submit, or additional information required to process this request. We appreciate the town's continued support of youth athletics and community programs. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Mark Boda. I need a motion for that.
The motion to allow Marlborough United Soccer to utilize the soccer fields at the town park on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as requested.
So I'll add a comment to that. We should probably post at least 2 signs on the field, letting people know that the field's going to be reserved for them. Otherwise, they're going to get there and there's going to be people on it. I think we did the same thing at the basketball courts.
Yes.
So
That's a good idea.
I'll second it.
Okay. Aye.
And just on that note, Dave, the basketball league kicked off last week. I think it was actually supposed to be the week prior, but then that rain came through. But it did kick off, and it's going very well. They've are 2 nights a week. Yeah, tons of kids participating. So very good, very well run.
Another correspondence. Meet Me in Marlborough is hosting a Heart of the Hudson Valley River Dock Market pop-up at the Milton Train Station Park on Wednesday, July 29th from 5:30 until 8:30 or 9 p.m. We invite a variety of vendors to participate, providing residents, visitors, and ship guests an opportunity to shop and enjoy what Marlborough has to offer. Food, wine, spirits, fresh produce, baked goods, homemade farm products, handcrafted items, history, art, and music, and much more. As this is our first event, we are eager to showcase a strong presentation of our community. If you are interested in participating, Please respond to this email by July 14th. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Meet me in Marlborough.
We're not sure we have that in the book. So if you're going to approve it, it doesn't sound familiar.
I don't think there's
to
anything
us.
to, I mean, it's down at the riverfront and it's in
It's not in
Car.
the train station?
Train
No.
station.
Is it inside?
That's what I
don't-
thought.
I
Oh,
thought
it
it was
doesn't say that
outside.
it's inside.
I thought it was outside. It's supposed to be set up when that ship docks that day, in conjunction with the cruise.
Yeah, it
line.
doesn't request use of the train station, so maybe they just want to let us know. It's a good event, though, if the ship's in. It'll be nice.
I would just caution one thing, we've been having a lot of problems with the trains blocking the tracks.
Yeah.
That could be a problem for the event, and you might want to know about it. It's not uncommon for a train to be there anywhere from a couple of minutes to a couple hours. Last week, it was most of the day.
Oh, my God.
They had signal issues.
Okay.
Yeah, they had,
That means if they're set up on the other side, and the train parks, and there's an issue, they're stuck for however long it might be till that train moves. They're not moving it because we call, they're not moving it because they gotta get on the other side. The train parks and stops, specifically for signal problems, that train stays until they fix the signal problems. And last week, I believe it was 6 hours.
yeah,
So they should be aware of that.
okay. Yeah, and they've been changing railroad ties, too, up and down the whole, yeah. So there's been a lot of maintenance going on by CSX up and down the river line.
I know Scott is in the loop on that event and has been working with Sheila, but I'll
Okay.
have him see if he can reach out to CSX to at least give them a heads up.
All right, the next item is public comments. Does anyone have any public comments tonight? Mr. Jennison?
That was my father, Mr. Jennison.
Sorry.
Marlborough Milton Lions Club coordinates senior picnic at the community center this year. Marlborough Milton Lions Club coordinates the annual senior picnic at the community center. The picnic is open to all town of Marlborough seniors 60 years or older. The picnic will be on Thursday, August 6th at 12 o'clock. Not at the park, at the community center. A limited amount of takeouts will be available. No reservation is needed. Please note the change of venue. Like that, you have to say it 3 times. We're at the community center, and we're at the first Thursday of the month, not the second Thursday. If you would like to volunteer, everybody in the room, come down, give me a call. We accept everybody's help. Town board, school administrators. The seniors love to see us out, assisting. You're all invited to attend and to help. You don't have to be a lion. Service is what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Is there any other public comments? All right, we'll move on to resolutions. Resolution number 53, I'm going to need a motion to table that. The police dispatcher in training was injured and did not finish his training, so maybe next month.
Where's the motion to table?
Second.
Aye. All right, resolution number 54, to appoint a planning board member. Deputy Supervisor Appler proposes the following. Whereas the Town of Marlborough Planning Board has an open position due to the resignation of member Bob Tronsolito, and whereas the Town of Marlborough Planning Board Committee has interviewed for the position, and whereas it is the recommendation of the committee to appoint David Burke Be it resolved that David Burke will be appointed to the Planning Board effective immediately with a term date ending December 31, 2027, and moves for its adoption.
Councilmember Deputy Supervisor Appler.
Yes.
Councilmember Sessa.
Yes.
Councilmember Zambito.
Yes.
Dave came highly recommended. He interviewed a couple times for this position, and we're very happy to have him. And I'd also like to thank Bob Tronsolito for his years of service. Bobby was a great member of the planning board. He always willing to give his opinion, and Marlborough was lucky to have him on there for that long. So thank you to Bobby, and welcome, Dave. Thank you. Executive session.
Yeah. At this time, I'm going to make the motion to go into executive session. No decisions will be made.
Yes. Thank you all.
Who seconded that?
I second it. Sure.
Gail?
Yep.
And the time is 7:54. Oh, this is messy. I hate this. Yeah, I made a mess over here. If I hit stop. And then record again. That should work. I've never done it that way before. Bless you.
Jerry, should I take the microphone instead?
Yikes. No, did they? You could take it.